Hi, my name is Don Baarns, and welcome to my Music for Dancers series. This is part one of 352 series, so I hope you enjoy the ride. So in case you were wondering what in the world we're going to be talking about, our job here is to handle three major issues. Number one, world dominance, untold riches, and then of course, our real goal is to help every dancer at all levels better understand the music and be a better dancer tomorrow than they are today. Now I have to warn you that this comes out of a class that I've been doing for the last 5 years, and I have about 15 hours worth of material. So we're going to condense it down and we're going to do the whole thing in 7 to 10, 15-minute chunks to make it easy for you to digest, for you to go back and find the sections that only you care about. Then I also have 180 articles that I've written over the last couple of years, about 5 years, on my blog. And all those are going to be turned into videos so that you can just watch and have a good time without having to read it. And ultimately this series is going to focus on musicality and taking the music and applying it to our dance, or just as importantly, taking our dance and having it reflect the music. So if the music's fast, we'll be fast. If the music's nice and loving, our dance will reflect that kind of mood. We're going to talk about timing, we're going to talk about feel, we're going to talk about the structure of the music and give you a foundation so when you're out dancing, the way you dance is unique, it's your interpretation of the music, and at the same time, your interpretation of the music reflects the feel of the music as if you were a musician in the band. Now before we get into the specifics, one of the things we need to do is define a little bit about musicality. What is it about? How does it work? And what's my definition of it? And let's see if we can find some common ground. Well, I see musicality as two intersecting circles. We have circle number one, and that circle number one is the dance movement. Now instructors all the time, students are learning how to move, how to do waves, how to do cross-body leads, and understanding the fundamentals of movement. How do I move my body so that I can do lots of cool things and impress my friends? Circle number two is the music, which can be slow, fast, medium, have 100 different feels. Some is romantic, some is exciting, but the music that is playing is going to have a specific feel. Well, we need to put these two circles together, and where they intersect, the part that is common to both of them is musicality, where some movement we make, which might be slow and lyrical, or it could be fast, stop, quick, hit. That's very, very sharp. The concept, we'll talk about the difference between sharp and flowing, and music does this all the time. But it's taking our dance and understanding the music circle well enough that as we are dancing, we have a movement that will reflect the music. So once again, musicality is when our dancing, our movement, is a reflection of the music that is playing right now. At the same time, the musicians have gotten together and created this puzzle piece where there's a bunch of instruments working together to create a picture. And you, as the artist, the dancer, the artist-dancer, can take any of those pieces that make sense and reflect them in your music, which means you can pick the percussionist to interpret for a while, and you'll have your interpretation. I might choose the melody to interpret that. Both of us can be right. There's not one interpretation, which that means that teaching it can be tough. So our job in this series is to start talking about the conceptual framework, how the music works, so that as your movement vocabulary continues to grow, you'll also have a grounding in the way the music works, and now you will be matching interesting movements and feels that you're creating with your body along with things that are happening in the music. Where they intersect, we have our movement reflecting the music. So for this series, one of the things I'm going to be assuming is that you are working on the circle that has body, that is about body control. Having your body do what your mind thinks about. If you want your fast kick, you can do that. If you want your hands to move quickly and you want to be able to do things here, you're working on those body movements. But this series is about the music part of the circle, and understanding enough about that you have the vocabulary musically that you have body-wise. We're going to put those two together. So let's talk about some of the details there that we're going to go over in this complete series. Now, almost every month I'm doing master classes all over, and those classes are approximately 3 hours each, and I only get to about 10% of the material that we have here. So let me give you an idea of some of the things that we're going to talk about in our music circle. Remember, my job is to teach you the music. So I have a master outline here, and I'll talk through some of the things. I'll refer to my notes maybe. And some of the things we're going to be talking about is the structure of the music and how it's phrased and how you can think like a musician. Because one of the interesting things about music is that music is predictable as long as you have enough practice. So music's predictable if you have enough practice. And what does this mean? Well, I like to think of it as music is repetition with variations. In the beginning of a song, something will happen. The musicians will play a hit, they'll play a little sequence of accents, and they will repeat that later at a very logical point. And we'll talk about how you can start thinking a little bit like a musician and understand where that logic is coming in, and then you'll be able to predict the hits, you'll be able to predict the breaks, and you'll be able to predict the endings. In addition, we're going to talk about how dancers count and how musicians count. Now, do you have to count? We'll get into that. I have some recommendations for you for counting. You do not have to count. There are some great dancers in the world that don't, but there are some real advantages to you if you do learn some counting. So one of the things we'll be talking about is hearing the phrases. This way you don't have to count. Many of the people that don't count hear some phrases. And then the musicians, they're always marking those phrases for you, and you're going to be able to hear them in the music. We'll go over quite a few examples of that. We'll talk about how many times you need to listen to music. You know, do you listen to a section 10 times or 250 times or 40,000 times? And we'll give you some tips and tricks for that. And then we'll talk about the music's shape. The patterns that are in the music. Is it getting more intense, less intense, and things like that. We'll go over something that I'm somewhat famous for, and that's ear training, and teach you how some simple methods that are simple conceptually, but if you'll do them, you'll start being able to hear the layers in the music. And then at some point, I'm going to share with you something that I'm definitely famous for, and this is my point of view concept, and it's how to find the one, and then how to know that you know that you know where the one is in the music. Depending on the genre of music that you're working with, some people are working on clave, or they're working on timbal, they're working on the congas, they're working on a specific instrument. My job is to teach you how to listen to any song and be able to find the one anytime. So to wrap up today's musicality lesson, I see this as two major circles. Circle one is your movement vocabulary. It's something you'll work on for the rest of your life. Circle two is how the music works. The flow of the music, the structure of the music, the feel of the music. That's my job to go over that with you. And we're going to combine those two circles, and where they intersect, musicality will happen. So I'll go into a lot more depth in the next series. The next video that comes out will be related to the structure of music and why it's important to the dancer to understand that structure. So be sure to subscribe, be sure to comment, be sure to rate this. Let me know what you think. We got more coming your way soon. Oh, wait. By the way, did I mention that I have a blog? It's got 180 articles on dancing. So while you're waiting for the next video to come out, the link is down below in the description. So you'll have plenty of videos to watch, but until then, go ahead and check out unlikelysalsero.com. The spelling is straight down below, the link is down below. And then be sure to give me some feedback on that. Get in touch with me on Facebook, send me questions there. Go ahead and like the Unlikely Salsero page, the link is down below. And you'll get updates as to when the new videos are coming out. And if you have a question, or you have a song that's confusing, or you have a part of a song that you've always wondered about, send it to me. Let me know. I want to know what you're thinking, and you'll find it in a video one of these days.